You?
Well, it's technically afternoon because it's noon, but I'm in a very chill vibe right now. I got a massage this morning and I feel like I could go back to bed more.
Oh, I am so jealous. You have that cruise glow about you. You look great.
Yes, I have that relaxation in my beautiful interior stateroom.
Hey,
Not
you know
like
what? The
Flora.
the good thing about interior staterooms is it is dark, usually pretty cold, and you can get some sleep in.
That's actually gonna be something that we'll talk about. The doors on all the staterooms, first of all, have like a vent slot rectangle at the bottom. So we went and pushed like the comforters that we're not using up against the door so that it stays dark. And then this probably should be a travel tip of the day, but Jeff apparently, I learned, brings electrical tape with him on all of our trips.
That's smart for
And
like the
he was able to,
peepholes. Yeah,
well, he uses it in case, like, something happens with the cord on his CPAP. But there's so many, because it's an interior room, light sensors at the bottom of like the furniture. And if your like blanket falls down there, the light turns on. So he went down and like blocked all the sensors.
that is too funny. Well, guys, let's get going. It is time for Today in Travel. We bring you all the latest travel news. We have some great topics today. Haley joining us live from a cruise. We'll get to that in a second. Guys, if you're just joining us, I am Jason Poole. I am a travel advisor with Cruise Planners. And Haley, introduce yourself and tell us where you are and what you're doing right now.
Yes, hello, my name is Haley. I own the hotel sales company, Hospitality with a Flair. Been in hotels for 18 years, like to cruise, clearly, Disney, Europe, you name it. So I'm on the Caribbean Princess,
Mhm.
and a little bit of an, last minute deal to get on here. And we are doing a 7 night Eastern itinerary. We were
Okay.
supposed to stop in Princess Cay. That didn't happen because of weather. It was really bumpy getting out of Florida because it was storming. But we are going to San Juan and St. Thomas. I'm curious to see if we pick up another port. There were rumors going around about possibly the Dominican because technically we're not stopping in any foreign ports right now with Princess K's off that list.
Well, you said St. Martin, right?
No, St. Thomas.
Oh yeah. You might, yeah, yeah.
So I'm wondering what's going to happen there. But
That's interesting.
beforehand, one of the reasons we liked this itinerary is there's 3 sea days on it.
I
Now
like that.
four, technically.
So this is your second or third time on Princess, but second time recently. This
Yes,
isn't
second time recently.
right. So this is an older ship. What? How does it compare to your previous sailing?
So it's an older ship. With that comes, there's some areas that have been updated, but like of course, like the elevator, like door areas are a little more beat up from luggage, things of that nature. The rooms aren't super modern, but I'll say this is probably actually the best interior room that
Okay.
I've ever stayed in. Um, we actually sleep with our beds apart because we like having more room in the middle, but it still has a
Ah,
huge full-size open closet. If you've seen like my Enchanted Princess room
yeah.
tour, it's the same closet. Um, so we are not lacking for space or anything on here. But what I'll probably say the most is the soft core is still the same experience as what we had on
Right.
the new ship on Enchanted. Really good service. The medallion, I
So
was curious to see
that's my next
how.
question. The medallion works the same everywhere, just like it did on the newer one. Yep.
Sure did. Works everywhere. Check-in was such a breeze because we had ours shipped to us ahead of time.
Love it.
From start to finish, including security, it took us 14 minutes to step foot on the boat, which I was
Okay.
curious to see because I told you in Europe we just walked on practically. I
Right.
was like, oh, I wonder how it's going to be different when they're turning. almost a full ship. And there's quite a few people doing back to backs, but in Europe, they sell those itineraries as 7 week, 14 week, 21,
Right.
etc. But I was really shocked. It was 14 minutes. The Princess Premiere, we did that again, which
Mhm.
includes the two specialty dining, the premium alcohol package, gratuities, a bunch of things. We ate at Crown Grill last night, and this will come out in a vlog, but Jeff says that is the best steak he has had on any cruise ship, any line
Wow.
last
Okay.
night.
Okay.
So it is going very well. Aside from the fact that it's an older ship, it's kind of nice getting back on a smaller ship for a little bit.
I
Honestly, we've really enjoyed it. I'm still very much a Princess fan as of right now.
Well, let's dig into the news. We're staying on Princess. There's a little bit of
Yeah,
sad news. The Sun Princess has been delayed again. I feel so sorry for these people who had these trips booked, and they're not doing major delays. They're just like a couple week delays. So now the Sun Princess is going to be debuting at the end of this month. They're hoping for February 28th from Rome. This ship looks gorgeous. I'm
I
excited
can't
because
wait.
it looks gorgeous. The princess is finally realizing that there is a demand for an upgraded suite experience, kind of that ship in a ship, a yacht club, a haven, a retreat, that ship in a ship on a large ship. So this ship is kind of rolling out their new suite program, a special lounge, sun deck area, a restaurant. So I am really, really excited to see this. And I'm
Well, what's neat also is they have a room type on there. I'm trying to remember what it's called, but it's not a suite. It's called the Cove.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And that's a special neighborhood with its own little pool and side
Yep.
deck.
Yeah.
I'm really anxious to see because, I really honestly enjoy Princess so far. Like the food's good and whatnot. I mean, of course, like it's cruise food. We're not talking it's anything crazy, crazy, but I like that, kind of celebrity has similar, but you add one price for like your drinks, like your plus, your premier, and it's done.
Hmm.
It's been consistent even between a brand new ship and an old ship. It's still been consistent, and kind of where they lacked was sweets and kind of creating
Yeah,
that experience to go head to head with celebrity. They kind of almost they should be competing with celebrity, but they kind of fall somewhere between like royal and celebrity
I
in
agree.
that respect.
I agree.
But I'm very excited. I'm hoping we can attempt to get on it. And actually, for those of you that are kind of curious about it, um, our friends over at JJ Cruise are going to be on this first sailing.
Yep.
So if you're looking for content on her, make sure you check that out.
Yep. Awesome. Speaking of new cruise ships, this was a shock to me. Royal Caribbean said they were done with Oasis class, right? Utopia, six in the class. I mean, six ships in a class is a lot. I mean, not.
Yeah,
I mean, how many does Voyager have? Five.
five.
Like Radiance might have.
Venture Voyager. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
it's
it's like
five. Like,
six is kind of starting to be like that. That's a lot for one class of ship. Well, they just announced, Royal Caribbean just announced they're adding a seventh Oasis class ship coming. We won't see it for 4 years, but I am blown away by this. The only thing I can think of is Utopia of the Seas has been doing well, doing its 3, 4 night. There's one segment in the cruise industry that kind of struggles. The 3 to 4 night ships are usually the older ones, the little more beat up ones. And Royal Caribbean goes, boom, new ship for 3, 4 nights. Boom. And my reading between the tea leaves, I'm assuming this will be something for like Miami, 3, 4 night down there. I don't know that. I could just see that happening.
ooh,
I see that happening.
yeah. Well, then also, I didn't see the news article on it, but aren't they finally giving Allure her dry dock?
Yes. I don't know how much they're gonna do. I hope the champagne bar survives. I love that
Me
champagne
too.
bar. I hope it survives. Um,
I'm almost like a little sad. I'm like, can you just like take it in? maybe add the barbecue place and the
Yeah, I didn't
Mexican,
like
like,
I didn't like that symphony, the little grab and go Mexican place was pretty good. I think of what
yes,
it's
the
called.
grab and go Mexican place and then the barbecue place. Like, can we just add those, then
Yeah,
leave everything else
and leave the
alone,
champagne, or yeah,
please?
leave the champagne. So, I mean, kudos to Royal Caribbean. I mean, I know everybody keeps talking about this rumored, what's it called? Project. Oh my gosh, forgot the name of it. But like, everybody's pretty much saying Royal Caribbean's going to go for a smaller ship because there's just certain itineraries you have to do smaller ship for or ports. Tampa, this most exam,
S See, I wonder on that, and I feel like maybe just renovating the rest of your other class
yeah,
and
but
putting
some
it
of
there,
those older
they're
ships, the engine,
making so much money on this right now that maybe
yeah,
they're okay with doing just mass market ports and stuff like that because of the money they're making. And we obviously see them doubling down on private beaches, private islands, keeping
yeah,
that money
I
very much in-house, and maybe not as adventurous itineraries.
I agree. I just saw on my Facebook, Emmy Schaefer just said she was on the Caribbean Princess 20 years ago. She couldn't believe it's been 20 years since she was on that ship. So I just saw that on one of my comments. I just saw
Honestly,
that.
she's still, not to tag back to it, but honestly, she's still beautiful, and I love, and there I'll have some videos and stuff. The venues are fantastic, like the bars, the design, and the layouts. That's something we've been talking about. Like, we actually like the layout of this ship better than Enchanted Princess because I told you the layout was kind of quirky on Enchanted for me. Not a deal breaker by any means, but
No, look,
I've watched this
somebody asked me the other
movie.
day, like, hey, if I have to book a so and so ship, is it still fine? It was a Solstice class ship. And I was like, oh my God, yes. Like I love Solstice class. Like older does not always mean bad. So
No, it doesn't. But now I have walked the halls of Emmy, and I feel very privileged.
yes, excellent. Yeah, absolutely. All right. So this next one is interesting because we just had on an airline expert on a couple weeks ago talking about how to get the best airline deals, work with the, experienced travel advisor who has contacts in the air world. And I thought this was interesting. The January 2024 was a record for January air sales, up nearly 10% from a year ago for travel agents purchasing air. Um, Anecdotally, I'm seeing this as well in my world. I've booked more air in the past 6 weeks for clients than I typically ever do. Getting lower
What do you
rate.
think that is?
One, I think, lower rates sometimes, especially on international travel. Two, when I use certain companies, I always say it's kind of like a fast track to status, right? You can call Delta, I can call Delta, they're going to pick up right away, right? Someone who doesn't have that status, you can wait on hold a
Very long time.
very long time, right? So if you use a company, I have a couple that I love to use for air. It's kind of like fast track status. I can call them 24/7. They can call them 24/7. They have access to the GDS system to go in and make the changes. They can do it. So I think a lot of people are saying, "Hey, I don't fly enough for status, but I want the ability to be able to call and someone pick up." That's one. Two, I'm telling you,
Okay.
the Delta pushing Delta vacations is a way to earn MQDs. I've been booking so many hotel and flight bundles for people to earn their Delta spend credit on hotels. And we're just throwing the flights in there as well. So it's been a lot of flights. And I like booking flights. I know the airlines, I know the airports. I can tell people don't do that one, do
That
this
is
one.
a huge benefit when you have, and this kind of comes back to having a travel agent that travels,
Yeah,
that can tell you that. And it's like, we may not have been to every like EU airport, but you know how that works.
I do. I do, and
A bunch of
it's funny you say that. I've been blown away when I see travel agents say things like, "Oh, I don't book flights." It's like, oh, okay, okay. Send your clients to me. I'll be glad to take care of them. So
I
flights
mean,
continue.
like, and transparently, you don't really make much of anything on flights, but
I
it's
mean,
more of that value added
I mean, if
service.
I make $25 on flights, like it's a shock, right? If they are paying 25 bucks,
Miraculous.
I see tell them, can you take $25 off the flights for the person, right? Just take $25 off. Like so I don't book flights is a way to make money. It's a lost leader as they call it. Um, so last on the news, and let me back up. I have heard a lot of clients, and even some family members say they often don't feel comfortable and these are females booking rideshare services like Ubers and Lyft. As a man, I was unaware of that, right? I will freely say that was my privilege coming through. I've never felt unsafe getting into. Now, I might have been unsafe as far as a bad driver, but I've never felt unsafe as far as the person's going to take advantage of me, ever, right? But I've heard this from women many, many, many times, right? I organize pickups for women all the time at airports, all the time. Lyft is rolling out a new program where females and non binary riders can request a female or non binary person to pick them up. This is not something I would ever use. I'm not qualified to speak of this. So Haley, as the man, I'm going to stop talking. And what do you think about this?
So I like the idea. It gives me peace of mind because, transparently, whenever I get into a rideshare when I'm traveling, not with my former football playing husband, um, I'm usually sharing my location quick, texting with him or somebody close to me pretty frequently throughout the journey. I don't know if I would utilize the feature as much because I also come from the camp that you can be assaulted by anybody,
I mean, sure, sure.
you know. But I do think that it could possibly give somebody some more peace of mind.
No, I agree. And to close it out, the tip of the day is something you experienced on this trip.
Yes, this is something that I was rewarded with, and my husband was not. So we were up at the gym yesterday, and I had timed my workout to end right as they have a stretch class. So Princess partners with like Yoga Six, the Stretch Lab, Pilates Club, to do their classes on their ships. And when you have Princess Premier, you get unlimited fitness classes because most of these fitness classes on these level ships, Royal Caribbean, Celebrity, um, NCL, whatever, they all charge for their fitness classes, generally speaking, like the fun ones, not just
Sure,
basic
sure.
water aerobics. So I good, then I can get a nice 30-minute cool down stretch. And I was trying to convince Jeff to do it. And he's like, no, no, I'm just gonna go back to the room, shower for our reservations. So I went through, did this stretch class. It was great. They had like these bands that come from the stretch lab and whatnot. And at the end of it, he's like, if you're still feeling tight and sore, because you did this class, if you go right after and book a massage, it'll be $50 off.
That's amazing.
And we had been wanting to potentially book a massage. So I immediately texted Jeff. I'm like, you should have stayed for stretch class. And then with having status, I was also able to get, what was it, like 15, 20 extra minutes on my massage
That's amazing.
because of status. So, getting a 75 minute or, yeah, 25 minutes added on 75-minute massage for 159 was pretty great, and it was, deep tissue with some hot stones too. It wasn't a Swedish.
Love it. Love it. Well, that is a great tip. I've never heard of that. So I love that. So, Haley, you're on vacation. Get back to having fun out by the pool, laying out. Drink some champagne for me, please. And thanks for watching, Haley. I'm loving all the stuff you're posting. A little too much on the seafood side, a little too seafood heavy. But other than that,
I'm
I'm
just
loving.
eating. Well, for me, I'm eating a little, trying to behave a little bit so I can indulge in other things.
Yeah, no, I'm loving all the content. So thank you, thank you, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next week.
All right, bye
Bye
guys.
bye.